Pilgrim Alexander Mitchell, also known as Spider of Beausejour St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 7th September 2021. He was the father of Jeffrey and Glenda, grandfather of 16, great-grandfather of 2, brother of 10 including Dolly and Letitia in the USA, Suzanne and Teresa in Grenada, father-in-law of Narissa. Many nieces, nephews, other close relatives and friends including Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Mitchell, Sandy and Alexander families of Happy Hill, Number 9, friends at Charlie's Bar and Nadine's Shop, and friends and neighbors of Beausejour and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Pilgrim Alexander Mitchell, also known as Spider of Beausejour St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Joseph Pear, also known as Davis Pear, of Mamacans and Latans St. David, who resided in Miami, USA, passed away on Monday, 30th August, at the age of 58. He was the husband of Monica Malcolm Pear, father of Selena, Charvette, Benedict, and Joseph in the USA, grandfather of 5, brother of Sybil and Joycelyn in the USA, Jean, Eddie, and Michael in Grenada, brother-in-law of Ken Brathwaite, uncle of many. Other relatives and close friends including the Pear family of Corinth, Charmaine and family, Nelson family, friends and neighbors of Mamacans, Latans, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Joseph Pear, also known as Davis Pear of Mamacans and Latans St. David, who resided in Miami, USA, will be held on Saturday, 18th September in the USA. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Dante Kelvin Lyndon Evans Samuel of the Boca St. George, who resided at Guelph St. John and Clarksville, Tennessee, USA, passed away on Thursday, 9th September at the age of 22. He was the son of Kelvin Lyndon Samuel in Clarksville, Tennessee, USA, and Felicia Evans in Grenada, stepson of Barbara in Clarksville, Tennessee, USA, grandson of Florence Samuel in New York, brother of Shide Samuel in New York, Tiffany Evans in England, and Adria George in Clarksville, Tennessee. His companion, Rishana Harris, nephew of Glenda Samuel Church, Geraldine and Brandon Gajada, Olivia Phillips, Leandra Hilton, Ron and Kevin Samuel, Burton and Terrence Evans, Sherman Byam Mitchell, Dwayne Quashie, and Goldwyn Phillips, cousin of Noxia, Rona, Shayana, Miles, and Gabby Samuel, Anisha and Akira Church. Many other relatives and close friends including the Samuel family of Guave, friends and neighbors of the Boca St. Guave. The funeral of the late Dante Kelvin Lyndon Evans Samuel of the Boca St. George, who resided at Guave St. John and Clarksville, Tennessee, USA, will take place in Clarksville, Tennessee, USA on Saturday, 18th September. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Ricky Fabian Superville, also known as Hard Rock of New Hampshire St. George, died at his home on Sunday, 22nd August 2021 at the age of 57. He was the son of Godfrey Venture, father of Brittany, Talia, Sadie, Ricardo, and Rakim, brother of Rona Charles, Brandon Lucas, Esau, and Alan Venture Lewis, grandfather of Rashad Keeley, nephew of Charles Telesford, Keith, Patrick, Denzel, Brian, Devon, Claire and Wendy Superville, Aaron Venture, Elizabeth Woodley, Gretel Williams, Lorna Christopher, and Carmen Murrell. Close friends Raymond Greenwich and Gamby. The funeral service and cremation of the late Ricky Fabian Superville, also known as Hard Rock of New Hampshire St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anne Virginia Lee née Dixon of Douglaston, St. John, died on Thursday, September 9th, 2021, at the age of 64. Left to mourn are her husband, Thaddeus Lee, 5 children, Donna Alexander Dow, Victor Lee, better known as Otley, Corporal Jude Lee, Betty Lee Charles, and Acabre Lee, sisters Ruby Pompey, Elaine Collier, Cecilia Isaac, Glenna Dixon, and Ann Peters. Brothers Simon Francis, better known as Sayi, and Leonard Dixon. Daughter-in-law Laurel Lee. Sons-in-law Ronald Charles and Travon George. 11 grandchildren including Jelani Lee, Joshua Dow, Callie Lee, and Ania Lee. Sister-in-law of many including Pastor Carlson Lee. Nieces and nephews in Grenada and abroad. Close friends and family including the Lee family of Douglaston, the Dixon and Collier families of Union and Post Royal, Christopher and Marva St. Paul, the McIntyre family of Grandance, the Dow family of Montgelou, members of the Grove and Grand Roy Pentecostal churches, Dr. Jude Entwine, Dr. Taisha Donald, and the Jules family in Trinidad. The funeral service for the late Anne Virginia Lee née Dixon of Douglaston St. John will be held privately, followed by private interment. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Drayton Collins Julian, also known as Captain of Coast Guard St. Mark, sunrise 14th October 1936, sunset 5th September 2021. He was the father of Dave, Angela, Joanne, Margaret, Eudine, and George, brother of Sylvan, Trevor, Anthony, and Peter Julian, Canute and Hugh Hostin, Veronica, Beatrice, Sheila, Lara Julian and family, special friend of Monica Prime, grandfather and great-grandfather of many too numerous to mention, uncle of many including Cathy and Hostin Peters and family, Alwyn and Conrad Forsyth in Grenada, Alicia Julian, Cicely, Sean, Cyril, Sandra, Jamal, and Daryl in the UK, in-law of Nellis Julian, Patrice Hostin, and Mildred Julian, cousins of many including Lyris Holder and family, and the Batson family of Springs, friends of the Fishery Association of Guave, Victoria, and Sates including Cosmos and Uric, loved ones and neighbors of the surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Drayton Collins Julian, also known as Captain of Coast Guard St. Mark, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Catherine Gill of Harford Village, St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday 28 August 2021 at the age of 94. She was the mother of Vilma Gill, Agnes McLean, Simon Gill, Yvonne Gill, and Adrian Gill. Grandmother of Kim Connaught, Deanne Johnson, Devon, Marlon, Kizzy, Kevin, and Samora Gill. Great-grandmother of 12. Sister of Leroy Gill. Aunt of many in Grenada and abroad including Cynthia Roberts, Sandra Gill Thomas, Dexter, Kenneth, Dennis Andrew, Trevor, and Errol Gill. Grand-aunt and great-grand-aunt of many in Grenada and abroad. Sister-in-law of Androlina Gill. Mother-in-law of Byron Cameron, Noel McLean, and Edison Williams. Grandmother-in-law of Wayne Connaught, Raquel Gill, Othniel Johnson, and Tricia Gill. Caregivers Stedline Isaac and Eudora Joseph. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Yvette Smith and family, the Boca family, John Isaac, Ralda Courtney and Glenlis, Denise Joseph and family, Eileen Vincent, Louise Felix and family, Dr. Batiste, the priest and parishioners of the St. Andrew's R.C. Church, and friends and neighbors of Harford's Village. The funeral of the late Catherine Gill of Harford's Village, St. Andrew, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Enoch Jeffet Ragbasing, also known as Papa of Clergy St. John, passed away on Sunday, 5th September 2021, at the age of 85. He was the father of Merlin, Clifton, Jenny, Marilyn, and Steve in the USA, and Jeffet in Canada. Grandfather of 11, including Marlon, Sweetie, Brittany, Whitney, and Raj. Great-grandfather of 8. Adopted father of Lurlin and Yvette in the USA. Brother of Seaton in St. Lucia and Molly in St. Thomas. Uncle of many including Gordon, Clayton, Jocelyn, Agnes, Deborah, Renaya, Eslyn, and Jonathan. brother-in-law of Lennox and Joyce in Trinidad, Aaron in the USA, Imelda and Odlin. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends, including the Ragbasing family of Wove, the Dinner, Tika, Mahorn, Mola, Hoston, Badassi, Peters and Gangadine families, Evelyn Peters, Chrislyn and family, Hermes and family, Catty, Daniel King and family, Edwin Boker, Hensley and family, Claudie Pear and family, Lestra Millett, members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Cloget, and friends and neighbors in the USA, Canada, Cloget, Guave, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Enoch Jeffet Ragbasing, also known as Papa, of Cloget St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Eric Frederick Collins, also known as Butcher, of Lassages St. David, who resided at Grandon St. George, retired Corporal of Police, passed away on Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, at the age of 66. He was the husband of Jennifer Simon Collins in the USA, father of Eris McIntyre, also known as Junior, Rommel, Ron Collins, Cameron, Erica, Natisha Charles, Nathan Eric Collins, Eridone Williams, Lazan Villafana in Trinidad, and Rodell Collins in the USA, stepfather of Lavon Charles, grandfather of 27, great-grandfather of 4, brother of Winston and Linus in Grenada, Gabriel in Trinidad, Lisley in the UK, Gertrude and Ermin in Trinidad, brother-in-law of 5, uncle of 69, friend of Caroline Charles and Sandra Mitchell, many other relatives and friends in Grenada, the USA, Tortola, Trinidad, and the United Kingdom, including the Collins, John, Felix, and Benjamin families of Lassages, Lerrick George, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin, the rank and file of the Royal Grenada Police Force, former Commissioner of Police Mr. James Clarkson and family, officers attached to the police garage and Camp Celine, former Inspector Brian Worm, Jumbie, and friends and neighbors of Caliste, Grandons, Lassages, and surrounding areas. A memorial service for the late Eric Frederick Collins, also known as Butcher, of Lassages St. David, who resided at Grandon St. George, retired Corporal of Police, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ali Alexander, also known as Miles of Spring St. George, died on August 27, 2021, at the age of 23, left to mourn his mother Karen Alexander, father Alistair Alexander, son A.J. Alexander, girlfriend Elistra Mackenzie, grandmothers Merrill Charles and Laurel Alexander, grandfathers Dovier John and Cosma Tate, other relatives and friends including the Alexander and Tate families of Marianne, the Charles and Thomas families of Springs, the Smith family of Wove and the Patrick family, the Coutain family of Mongelou, the Antoine family in the USA and Canada, past pupils and teachers of Westerhall School, the management and staff of Springs Food Mart and Charlo's Food Mart, the Grandons Bus Association, members of Springs Evangelistic Church, the York Group, the staff of Coyaba Beach Resort, Bolo, Trevor Modeste, Kenny George, Sirius, Menz, Scott, Kyron, and other friends and neighbors of Springs and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Ali Alexander, also known as Miles of Spring St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Emmanuel Modeste, also known as Looney of Molineux St. George, died on September 12, 2021, at the age of 58, left to mourn mother Esme Modeste, sisters Dawn and Eve, brothers Francis, Alfred also known as Brother and Derek, children Nisha and Akeisha St. Louis, Zara, Ken, Kenrick and Terry Gibbs, Teresia Diane Modeste, Javon and Jadel Modeste, grandchildren Shanice, Zarel, Zakeda, Tarika, Ken Jr., Keitherson Jr. Gibbs, Anijah, Acaden, Akeon, and Janijah St. Louis, Ariel Thornhill, and Teron Lewis. Sister-in-law Yewland Nicholas, Aunt Helen Modeste in Trinidad. Nieces and nephews Marlene, Sheldon, Charlene, Stephen, Tracy, Dwayne, also known as Tony, Francis Jr., Gabrielle, Clinton, Tyler, Devon, and Lavelle. Other relatives and friends including Newton Thomas, Errol, the Nicholas, Patrick, Sylvester, and Modeste families, the fishermen and folk by the fish market, and many other relatives and friends from Molinaire, Cemetery Hill, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Emmanuel Modeste, also known as Looney, of Molinaire St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Cuthbert Robinson Forrester, also known as Pepper, Robbie, or Uncle Robbie, of Monkdore St. George, died on September 16, 2021, at the age of 86, left to mourn his brother Ernest Forrester, nieces and nephews including Eudine Charles, Anthea and Julian Frank, Teresa Cummings, Agnes Forrester, Shirley and Alban Paris, Joanna Johnson and Althea Mitchell. Other relatives and friends including Michael Matthew, also known as Santa in the U.S., the Forrester, Frank, Mitchell, Johnson, and Duncan families. The funeral service for the late Cuthbert Robinson Forrester, also known as Pepper, Robbie, or Uncle Robbie, of Monkdore St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Dickie Chetram of Woburn St. George passed away on Sunday, September 12, 2021, at the age of 51. The funeral arrangements for the late Dickie Chetram of Woburn St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Karen Lois Noel Bartholomew of Monkrush St. George died on Wednesday, 15th September 2021, at the age of 48. The funeral arrangements for the late Karen Lois Noel Bartholomew of Monkrush St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Costley Raphael Augustine Mitchell, also known as Brother Mitch, Pops, and Papa Cos of Pomrose St. David, died on Monday, 13th September 2021, at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late Costley Raphael Augustine Mitchell, also known as Brother Mitch, Pops, and Papa Cos of Pomrose St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Gracelyn Veronica Lewis of Mount Craven St. Patrick, who resided at Jean Anglais St. George, died on September 13, 2021, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Gracelyn Veronica Lewis of Mount Craven St. Patrick, who resided at Jean Anglais St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Merrill Forsyth of Laurelland St. David passed away on Saturday, 11th September 2021, at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Merrill Forsyth of Laurelland St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Francis Gilbert, also known as Ivan Charles of Guava State St. John, passed away on Friday, 3rd September, at the age of 86. The funeral of the late Francis Gilbert, also known as Ivan Charles of Guava State St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Adrian Joseph Robert, also known as Cloget and Bwim, of Mount Granby, who resided at Guava State St. John, passed away on Friday, 10th September 2021, at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements for the late Adrian Joseph Robert, also known as Cloget and Bwim, of Mount Granby, who resided at Guava State St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Mavis Lewis, also known as Shorty of Brisbane St. George, passed away on Sunday, 12 September at the age of 71. The funeral service for the late Mavis Lewis of Brisbane St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Home.
Ralston Warren, also known as Vibrator and Spade, of Duquesne St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, retired prison officer, passed away on Saturday, 11 September 2021, at the age of 61. The funeral arrangements for the late Ralston Warren, also known as Vibrator and Spade, of Duquesne St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Anderson Houston, also known as Andy of Grand Anse, St. George, passed away on Sunday, 12th September 2021, at the age of 44. The funeral arrangements for the late Anderson Houston, also known as Andy, of Grand Anse, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Ralph Anthony Fisher, also known as Fisher, of Victoria St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, passed away on Friday, 3rd September 2021, at the age of 84. The funeral arrangements for the late Ralph Anthony Fisher, also known as Fisher, of Victoria St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Tyrone Benjamin, also known as Frankie, of Grand Anse, St. George, passed away on Monday, September 6, 2021, at the age of 44. The funeral arrangements for the late Tyrone Benjamin, also known as Frankie, of Grand Anse, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Dr. Darville Ray, of Queen Street, Victoria St. Mark, attached to the Pediatric Department at the General Hospital, passed away on Tuesday, 7th September 2021, at the age of 33. The funeral arrangements for the late Dr. Darville Ray of Queen Street, Victoria St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Kenny Thomas, also known as Bigger or Big Man of Grand Anse Valley, St. George, died on Monday, September 6, 2021, at the age of 40. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenny Thomas, also known as Bigger or Big Man of Grand Anse Valley, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Leonard Hagley, also known as Stanley and Whoop Whoop, of Corinth St. David, passed away on Friday, September 3rd, 2021, at the age of 96. The funeral arrangements for the late Leonard Hagley, also known as Stanley and Whoop Whoop of Corinth St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes. Dominic Eustace Lucas, also known as Sonny, Copper and Garden, of Lower Depredine Street, Grove, St. John, passed away on Saturday, 4th September 2021, at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Dominic Eustace Lucas, also known as Sonny, Copper and Garden, of Lower Depredine Street, Grove, St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Homes.
Sarah Mark of Montcraven St. Patrick passed away on Monday, 6th September at the age of 10. The funeral arrangements of the late Sarah Mark of Montcraven St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Angeline George of Caliste St. George, who resided in the USA, passed away on Tuesday, 17th August 2021, at the age of 61. The funeral arrangements for the late Angeline George of Caliste St. George, who resided in the USA, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Alice Angelina Francis, also known as Alice John and Connor, of Monjaloo, Carriacou, who resided at Brunswick, passed away on Wednesday, 25th August 2021, at the age of 100. The funeral arrangements for the late Alice Angelina Francis, also known as Alice John and Connor, of Monjaloo, Carriacou, who resided at Brunswick, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Berna Brown of River Road, St. George, passed away on Thursday, September 2nd, 2021, at the age of 78. The funeral arrangements for the late Berna Brown of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Jean Joseph of Beaulieu, St. George, passed away on Saturday, 21st August 2021 in Canada, at the age of 72. The funeral arrangements for the late Jean Joseph of Beaulieu, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Nathaniel Glassford Corion of Bellevue, South Carriacou, passed away on Thursday, August 5th, 2021, at the age of 76. The funeral arrangements for the late Nathaniel Glassford Corion of Bellevue, South Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Wendell Jonathan Caliste, also known as Crop, of River Road, St. George, passed away on Monday, 23rd August, at the age of 57. The funeral service of the late Wendell Jonathan Caliste, also known as Crop of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
In memory of our beloved brother, uncle, cousin, neighbor, and friend, Raphael Gregory Bowen, also known as Hengs, of Monjaloo, St. George, who resided at Grand Aunt's House in Scheme, St. George, and who passed away on the 18th of September 2020, at the age of 71. You gave no one a last farewell, nor ever said goodbye. You were gone before we knew it, and only God knows why. 1,000,000 times we'll miss you. 1,000,000 times we'll cry. If love alone could have saved you, you never would have died. In life, we loved you dearly. In death, we love you still. In our hearts, you hold a place no one else can ever fill. It broke our hearts to lose you, but you didn't go alone, for part of us went with you the day God took you home. Rest in peace, our beloved departed, until we meet again. Arrangements were entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
Death and dying are the inevitable events and realities of life. The passing of a friend or loved one often brings with it the feelings of sadness, grief, and pain. There is always the period of sorrow and mourning for those who experience such loss. Brothers and sisters, particularly in this time and season of how you feel and what you may be thinking as a result of the passing of your loved one, there is a source and means of comfort that you can tap into. That source and means of comfort is God and His Word that speaks specifically and directly to our situation. Hear the word to you today. He says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." What I believe he is saying through this verse to you and everyone that is now experiencing some measure of grief or sorrow, and what I also believe is implied in that which he says, are the following. Mourning is an understandable, normal, and real expression of your emotions. Mourning presents the opportunity for us to experience the comfort of family, friends, and loved ones. Mourning identifies us with each other in our humanity and morality. Mourning will not last forever. It is for a particular season and reason. Mourning connects us with the ultimate source and means of comfort that is always available to us, God, our Heavenly Father, through Jesus Christ. And so today, we look to the Lord in prayer, Him who is able to comfort us with the comfort that we need in times like these. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of comfort, we pray even now for those who mourn and are in need of your comfort. May your love embrace them. May your grace afford them the strength for each day and hope for tomorrow. May you inspire and motivate them to stand upon the promises of your word. And may your Spirit lead and direct them to the ultimate source and means of comfort which can be found in you and the promises of your word. This prayer we offer through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.